Hi everybody, welcome and welcome back. It is me, Chameleon Girl Gina. Today we're going to make some delectable pork neck bones in the slow cooker. Something that I don't really do often, but they will cook faster than in the oven, quite frankly, especially if you have the type of slow cooker that latches the lid down and really keeps in the heat. Another thing that I can tell you is that you can cook it faster. You could do about 4 hours in a slow cooker on high, but the reason why I don't prefer high heat in the slow cooker is because it doesn't come out as tender. So the recipe that I'm giving you today calls for slow and low. So let's get started with getting our seasonings going and then getting them into the crock pot. Okay, so first up, we're going to add a teaspoon and a half of chicken bouillon. That goes directly into our slow cooker to let those flavors and what it is that are in that bouillon go ahead and melt down in that good hot water. Now make sure if you have one with a clip to clip it so that it really gets it nice and hot by locking in that heat. Okay, now so let's go ahead and begin seasoning. We're gonna start out with about 2 teaspoons of just regular black pepper. And neck bones are hard to season, so we will not be acting all stingy and timid with the seasonings, but you can. So if you know you like less sodium than what I'm adding to this recipe, cut your sodium in half. So now we're going to add approximately 2 teaspoons of Lowry's. We're going to be very generous with our onion powder. And so we're going to add definitely 2 teaspoons. And then we're going to add some garlic powder in here. We're going to be adding 2 teaspoons. And then we're going to add some garlic salt. And we're going to do about 1 teaspoon and a half. We're going to add some MSG. MSG is not a requirement, but it will enhance the flavor of all things that you put it on, which is why I like it. Let's go ahead and generously add some paprika. So we're gonna add 1, 2, 3 teaspoons of paprika. Now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and massage our meat together very thoroughly. Make sure no part of your meat is not seasoned. And these are going to be on the traditional side of neck bones. They're not going to be fancy smancy with different stuff in there that I may not use. If you're concerned about how to wash off your neck bones, then I have my baked neck bone recipe on my channel that you can reference in order to cleaning them. But in order to get them nice and clean, what you want to do is soak them for 30 minutes in cool water. So not ice cold, not warm, not hot, room temperature, cool water. These neck bones, they may need some more flavoring. As we go, as we're cooking. But you never want to go over the top with your sodium seasonings because you could end up to where it's overly salty and there is no going back. Season up. Season to taste, please, on my channel. If you hear me giving you directions and you're like, oh, that sounds like a lot of sodium or salt, cut it down. When you go to season, especially if it's something with liquids, it has to cook down. So when it has to cook down, well, what does that mean? That means that as it gets thicker, it's going to become saltier. So be mindful of that as well. Okay, here's where you want to be looking on your paprika. You can see it's colorful by now. So that means that the color, if the color spreads, so did your seasoning. So you're good to go. Now, if we could remember taking 1.5 or maybe 2 teaspoons, I can't remember now, but anyway, we took some bouillon, we added it to 2 cups of hot water, and we turned our slow cooker on so that we can melt all those flavors. So now you're going to go ahead and place all of your neck bones. No matter what recipe that you're following, I'm gonna give you some instructions that I recommend and that I would take if I were you. No matter who says what, always add at least 1 cup of water to your slow cooker. Even if it's just for the bottom, even though your whatever you may be cooking is probably going to produce meat and juices. 1 cup of water at minimum in the bottom. Now see, like I said, in my case, I did use 2, but that's only based on the amount of meat that I am using. So here is what we're looking like with our 8 pounds of neck bones in our slow cooker. And of course, I want you guys to use the one that you could lock the lid down, but if you don't have one that's like this, then all you need to do, remember, we improvise over here. If we don't have something but we want to cook it, then we just take our regular slow cooker and we just put a piece of foil and seal it around the edges with the foil. Then put your lid on and press it down. You got the same effect as if you lock this down, because the foil is what's going to do keeping your heat. Now, I want this slow cooker on low for 6 hours. Yes, I can cook them on high all day long if I want. And they're still going to probably take about 4 to 6 hours. And they're not going to be as tender. They'll be tender, but they're not going to be as tender as if we go low. So let's get that on low, and let's get a timer going on. Alexa, 4-hour timer. All right, the time has come. These neck bones in the slow cooker. Now, you know I done peeked in on them. You know I done took a bite and everything. But look at what we're looking at. Look at what we're... It's like one of them moments like, oh my goodness. Look at the tender... It's just about nothing but meat. Some people say oxtails over neck bones. I'm like, no, baby. Neck bones, where you be getting yours. Look at the meat all in there. But anyway, speaking of meat, I gotta move fast. So I'm gonna get some meat over. I made some fluffy white rice. Ooh, don't burn me, baby. Okay, there. Look at the meat. And if you can't find real meaty neck bones, what you can do is just look, because every city has a butcher. That ain't nothing but me. I don't even see. I'm looking for a bone to suck on. At least a little bone. Give me a little bone now. Something. Yeah. Right over 'em. And you know we gotta have a taste test. So, I think neck bones is just absolutely one of my favorite meats. And I don't like pork, but it's in my top 3. So, let me get my spoon so I can taste it. Alright, y'all. Yes, it's time to dig in, because I've been waiting. And the total cook time is like 5 hours. And you want to start on high in your slow cooker and reduce your heat to low and just let them go. They'll cook faster than if you rush the process. Like if you put them on a rapid boil, it'll cook slower than if you turn it down and just let it really. I don't know why. I wish I could tell you guys that really method to the madness. It just is what I've discovered. So, look. It's still burning hot. I was hoping I running my mouth. I was hoping that by now I was ready, but Look at all this meat. Look, that ain't nothing but meat. I'm in such a hurry and I feel bad that I gotta take another taste, but let me just, one more again. Let me rewind it back. Neck bone. Everybody say which one you prefer in the comments. Do you prefer neck bones or oxtails? And I don't know, it's tough, but for me it's neck bone. Y'all, nothing but meat. People say, oh, neck bones are cheaper and, you know, like whatever, but they're really not. They have gotten so expensive. It's ridiculous to know that they can add up to like $50 to feed 8 people. Ain't that crazy? Neck bones, something that was trash, but we're not going down that rabbit hole. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish eating. Thank you for watching. Do me a favor, like, comment, share, and subscribe. God bless.